All right, I'm back for Twistz's ongoing coverage of IEM Dallas 2024, and I'm here with YEKINDAR of Team Liquid, who has lived to fight another day. To start, that match was very rough. It went the distance. It looked like anyone could have won it at any time. How are you feeling coming out of that match against Team Falcons?
I mean, of course, we glad we converted after such a dominated first map by Falcons, and I think everybody yesterday kind of expected us to win against 9Z, same way as we expected it to win against 9Z. I think Nuke really showed us that we were still not out of it, and we were still kind of like frustrated at ourselves, and we were a little bit, I think, stiff in a way. Maybe not enough moving, not enough reacting. Maybe like being a little bit scared. And after first map, Casper, Russ, and Wilton, they all like we all kind of saw like what's happening, and everybody understood that like we have to like start playing. We have to like take more initiative. We have to be the ones kind of controlling the pace a little bit. We cannot watch everything. We need to kind of gamble something if it's necessary and kind of play our own game. And that's kind of what happened the other two maps.
Looking at someone who really took control of the game, actually right to the right of you over here is Twistzz on Ancient, who really I think helped keep Liquid alive, dropping I believe 36 kills and 122 ADR. Was that something that you guys worked to enable, or was it just Twistzz having a particular pop-up game? Was that something maybe you, Katie, and Twistzz came together like let's enable Twistzz, or just something that happened as a sort of spurious overperformance?
Um, I'm pretty sure Russ was kind of like before the ancient match. He was already kind of feeling it. I think he was a little bit mad after the nuke result, and that maybe that like he couldn't necessarily have the same impact on nuke. But I think as soon as like Casper kind of recognized that Russ is having this game where he could potentially do more impact than any other player. I think Casper started kind of putting him into these spots, and I think Russ was. Good with like calling and being vocal about what he wants to do, and I think it kind of clicked. Russ was feeling it, and everybody else kind of allowed him to perform, supported in any necessary way, and I'm glad that was a fucking important map. I'm sorry for swearing.
It's an adult show. We can swear here. Yeah, and with that, another good performance we saw in Liquid was you, of course. You know, I think it goes without saying that there's been ups and downs for you on this new iteration of Liquid. I remember an interview, I believe, from Pro League where you mentioned, pardon me, where I think where Twistzz was being interviewed. You mentioned that you sort of took your performance into Armor personally as something you were very frustrated with. How do you feel you're doing now? How do you feel you're doing now that you've had time at Pro League to work on your performance? You've had the obviously CCD Global Finals and now at Dallas. How are you feeling as an individual right now?
I mean, I'm definitely still not happy with my performance, and the good thing is the team kind of believes in me, and they give me necessary kind of space, and they don't necessarily treat me as like a bottom fragger, and they don't put me in like these bottom fragging roles. They truly believe that I can succeed and can come back to the level that I am able to play. I think these specifically EPL and Dallas. I think maybe even a little bit CCT. I think were both. Like all these three tournaments, I think I see personal improvement. I think the whole team sees. I think I think there was a combination of like many things of kind of being maybe a little bit harsh on myself, playing too much or whatever. Or at the same time, maybe it's wrong. Maybe I was not. But I need to play even more, and it's hard to find. This was kind of the first time I kind of encountered this kind of fall in form, and with a combination of a new game, new team, and just a lot of things just happening at the same time. I think that's why kind of this all happened. But of course, like I'm sorry for the games that have been lost because of my mistakes or because of my performances. But at the same time, I'll be of course trying my best and coming back, and I truly believe that I will come back.
Looking at sort of the way you've been performing in the various iterations of Liquid you've been a member of course, when you came onto Nitro's Liquid originally, you were an explosive and explosive star player, and then to an extent, you were a bright spot on the European Liquid roster with Patsy and Rainmaker. When we had a chance to talk to Naf in our interview tomorrow, he mentioned that a potential area you guys have been looking at is that Caden's calling style is so different to how you're used to playing the game, with him being much more of a hands-on, play a much more hands-on IGL, more micromanaging, more, helping his younger players on heroic. Has Caden been changing the way he's been calling to sort of enable you to have more success in the server, or is it something that's sort of come from yourself and how you've been playing?
I mean, I think it's both. I think, of course, Casper is trying to adapt. He, of course, doesn't want his players to feel kind of uncomfortable, and he's been kind of doing great in that, kind of like adapting and kind of leaning back a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like still it's kind of uncomfortable for him, and it's a hard kind of like double-edged sword in a way of like his philosophy, how he would wants to play, and for me like how like hard to perform kind of individually and being a little bit maybe a little bit more slower paced player than he would want me maybe to be in my zones, but I think overall it's just there was time for adapt. I think I'm definitely kind of like got used to at least a little bit to like this calling style of Casper, but at the same time I feel like Casper also kind of like adapted as a caller.
When we had a chance to watch map two from you guys, we were up in the room, and we saw that Twistzz was being especially vocal on during that map. A lot of times collaborating with Katie, and Katie would make a call, then Twistzz would be like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." Twistzz has always been a vocal player, but was it intentional from you guys to sort of have Twistzz in a more vocal position during that game against Team Falcons?
I think overall Russ is kind of considered in our team as a secondary caller, kind of the second main voice in the team. I think especially on CT sides because he's playing more aggressive, crucial roles on CT sides. I think. Of course, Casper. If Casper has bigger macro idea, then Casper takes over. But usually, like the start of the rounds are decided kind of by Russ. I think on T side specifically, I think we have that whoever is kind of feeling it, they can chip in if they want to do something or they see some gaps. They communicate it to Casper, and okay, Casper is trying to make a plan for it. Of course, not always you're going to be like kind of accepted for the plan, but that's just a teamwork thing. Like of course. You offer sometimes one thing and it's kind of denied, but next time you're going to be accepted in a way, and yeah, I think it's more about like who's feeling it. That person also like talks and chips in.
So, for a variety of reasons, this event is a very pivotal event for Liquid. There's been rumors. It's sort of the end of the first 6 months of this new lineup. It's the next big event you guys have been at since Pro League. There's a lot of factors that make this sort of an integral event for the roster. Considering you guys only have one match left to make it in the playoffs, how far does the team need to go for you to be personally satisfied with Liquid's performance here at the end of the first half of 2024? What are you going to be happy with?
Well, I mean, considering the teams that we would possibly face, I think it's G2 or Mnmzzz. I think both teams are really high caliber teams. I think against both of them, it's really hard to play. They have really strong individuals, and I think if we could beat like both of those teams and kind of qualify for playoffs, I think that would be a great achievement for this roster and for this event, kind of qualifying for quarterfinals. But of course, it also all depends kind of like momentum. If who knows, maybe if like we win tomorrow after against Mnmzzz or G2, then we could also like possibly win against any other team. Mnmzzz is considered top one in the world at the moment, right after their win on Pro League and just successful top two finishes in a way, like maybe like hit them in phase, right? But if you win against the best team in the world, then what's holding you back to go deep into playoffs? But it's gonna start. It's gonna start already tomorrow.
And for you personally, we've mentioned the fact that obviously you've put a lot in this game. You put a lot of time, energy, sweat, tears into this Liquid roster, trying to make it find success. What's going to be sort of the point where you can finally smile and say, okay, we figured something out for Dallas and we've done all we can? What's the moment when we're going to see YEKINDAR stand up and smile on stage? Hopefully.
I mean, if I'm not sure. We have tomorrow match, right?
Yeah, you're going to be playing Mnmzzz or G2. It's looking probably like G2 tomorrow.
Okay, so if we're gonna win that match, I'm gonna be fucking happy.
So he's gonna be fucking happy if we take down G2 and lock in our Latvian import as the only American team to make it to playoffs. Thank you so much for your time, YEKINDAR, and we'll see you in action.